Welcome to On This Day in Grateful Dead History. Today we're digging into a review from GratefulDeadBook.com. It's about the show on May 25th, 1972.
Yeah, that's right. London, the Strand Lyceum. This was night 3 of 4 shows they did there.
Okay.
And just a reminder, if you want listening guides for, well, all the shows this week, check out the This Week in Grateful Dead History link. It's in the bio.
Good stuff. So this review, it calls the show Peak Form. Says the music was fluid, dynamic, and completely dialed in. That sounds pretty promising.
Definitely. The reviewer really felt the band was firing on all cylinders that night.
So let's try and capture that vibe, especially the second set jam sequence they talk about. But first what hinted at this peak form.
Well, they mentioned Big Boss Man right off the bat. Said it was really smooth, locked in, but still had, the right amount of grit.
That dead grit, yeah. Suggests they were feeling comfortable, right? Cohesive.
Exactly. And then the China Cat Sunflower into I Know You Rider. That transition is always a big one.
Mm-hmm. What did they say about it?
Precision. Called it a classic liftoff moment. When they nail that, it really sets a tone.
Yeah, that gear shift is amazing. So that precision points to them being dialed in.
For sure. It's all about that interplay, that clean shift in energy from the kind of floaty China Cat to the driving rider.
Gotcha. Okay. What else in set 1?
Good Lovin' was apparently lean, punchy, and full of energy, so keeping that momentum going.
Nice.
And then playing in the band. The review says it delivered a strong dose of early exploratory jamming.
Okay, so a little taste of improvisation to come later.
Absolutely. Playing in 72 is often that launching pad, Even a relatively short one could signal they were ready to stretch things out, which they definitely did in the second set.
Right, the truly special second set, as the review calls it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how did it kick off?
Started with a rare Me and My Uncle, apparently. Then some solid, perfectly executed versions of Big Railroad Blues and Ramble on Rose.
Setting the stage, maybe.
Yeah, almost like clearing the decks. Because then came Uncle John's band, described as beautifully played. Jerry's phrasing was really sharp.
Okay. Maybe not the best ever, the review hints.
Right, maybe not the definitive one, but really well played. It set up this nice melodic space that they could then sort of dissolve.
Dissolve into what?
Into pure space, as the reviewer puts it, for about 2 minutes before Wharf Rat started to emerge.
Pure space. And what does that actually sound like? Is it just noise?
Not really noise, more like, abstract textures. They move away from the song structure, maybe sustained notes, weird sounds, feedback sometimes. It creates this tension, this anticipation before landing back into a song.
Okay, I can picture that. And the Wharf Rat that came out of it.
That was noted for its quiet but undeniable strength, a real emotional buildup. Jerry's vocals were spot on, and Bobby was adding these subtle textures.
So intensity, but a different kind, more grounded after the spacey bit?
Exactly. Shows that dynamic range, right? Abstract to emotional. But the main event really was the Dark Star, 34 minutes long.
Wow. 34 minutes. Okay,
Yeah.
How did that break down?
Well, apparently the first verse didn't even hit until about 8 minutes in.
8 minutes.
Yeah, and the second verse around the 18-minute mark.
So tons of improv in between. What was that like?
The review says it had moments that were wild and dissonant, but overall there was this warmth and melodic richness. So it wasn't just chaos, more inviting maybe.
Interesting. Pushing boundaries but keeping it musical.
Mm-hmm. And get this, around 21 minutes, the Feeling movie theme pops up.
No way. In the middle of Dark Star.
Yeah, bleeding into a bright crescendo, just weaving these different feelings together.
That's incredible. What came next? Did the energy drop?
Not at all. It flowed seamlessly into a warm, full-throttle Sugar Magnolia. Kept that energy way up.
Nice. And they wrapped things up after that.
Yeah, a few more tunes, including the final performance ever of Sitting on Top of the World.
Oh, interesting historical note there.
And then finished strong with a nice upbeat groove, Going Down the Road, Feeling Bad, and One More Saturday Night. Real rousing, hard-driving finish.
So it sounds like this Lyceum show, especially that massive second set, was a prime example of the Dead just taking flight.
Absolutely. Moving from songs into deep improv and back again. That whole journey from Uncle John's through space, Wharf Rat, that epic Dark Star, into Sugar Mag. It's classic 72 Dead.
So the takeaway is really about that improvisational power, that ability to explore so much musical ground within one show, even within one song.
Yeah, it really makes you think, doesn't it? How one piece of music, like that Dark Star, can hold so much. Dissonance, warmth, melody, surprise themes, all in one go. What does that tell us about what happens when musicians are that connected, about what improvisation can really be? Something to chew on.